Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on a Thursday evening. Week one of the NFL season underway. We are not live from the Superbook Sports studio, of course, as you can tell by the situation that we have going here. We have had to do this show on remote, unfortunately, because I had a bit of an unfortunate circumstance I had to attend to with a funeral situation that I am still on my way home from. But I figured, you know what? The show must go on. Halftime of the Bills and Rams is nearly upon us. And we are going to talk about this game one way or the other on primetime, whether I have to pull over in a gas station in BFE, Kentucky or not. So that is the circumstance that we are working with tonight. Derek R. says, I'm sorry for your loss, Buck. I really appreciate you guys being understanding, just as I appreciate producer Reed being willing to work with me on this. It was a bit of a tragic incident, fairly unexpected, but we make do with the circumstances that we have. And you guys know that I couldn't leave you hanging on a Thursday night, especially with week one of the NFL season underway. So right now, as I watch the game on my phone, don't worry, I'm pulled over, not driving right now, but as I watch the game on my phone, Buffalo 10, Rams 7, almost to the minute left mark in the first half. It has been a hugely compelling game so far. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the Bills and the Rams, obviously. We'll discuss the Titans for the last time before they play a game, because when next we meet for primetime, we will be in Nissan Stadium broadcasting live from there. Will Dotson Jr. says, I thought Buck was on a stakeout. Sorry for your loss. G-Man on base says Two Rivers Ford Mobile Studio. That's right. How about that? Two Rivers Ford on the road. We are literally in the Two Rivers Ford custom ordered vehicle that they built for me. But there will be time to tell you about Two Rivers Ford. We're going to react to the Rams and the Bills of the first half. We're going to talk Titans, do a weekend bounce back, and get you back before the second half is set to get underway between LA and Buffalo. Before we get started, would love for you guys to share this show on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. If you're hanging out with us on Twitter, please retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you are on YouTube with us this evening, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Do the same on Twitch if you haven't done it already. If you are on Facebook Live, please share now to public in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We would love to have more of your Facebook friends involved with our conversation tonight. Kyle Severin says, did Derek kick me out of the house? Yes, I'm sure they're going to be, well, honestly, I had to call her and tell her that I was not going to be home in time to do the primetime show from this particular circumstance that I had to attend. And so, the locks may be changed by the time I get home, but this is such is life at this point. Matt Drew says, how can I watch the game free, like mobile-wise? I don't know if it's free, but I have the Peacock app. I know I pay for Peacock. I know I pay for Xfinity. I know I pay for damn near all of this stuff. So I'm not certain that Peacock is free, but that is what I'm currently watching Sunday Night Football on. So let us, Jimbo is giving out all kinds of streams, methstreams.com. That doesn't sound like something that would be particularly enjoyable or good for your laptop. So I'm going to avoid that, Jimbo, but good on you. And best of luck with your, whatever viral situation may be coming your way. Regardless, let's go ahead and start this primetime show. The first one on the road, not under the normal circumstances, but such is life. Welcome into A to Z Sports Primetime. From not the Superbook Sports Studio, but from my Two Rivers Ford. We are proud, as always, to be presented to you by the fine folks at Two Rivers Ford, where you can custom order an incredible Ford, just like the one I am currently occupying. The 2022 Ford Explorer is where I join you from now. You can build your next Ford at Two Rivers Ford and get a guaranteed great rate. Tell you more about that later on. The Intel Edge is what Gary Ashton and the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage offer to you when you are trying to get involved with the Nashville real estate market. Gary Ashton has the Intel Edge you need to succeed at GaryAshton.com. And of course, Superbook Sports, where you can go to wager on every pro football game for the rest of the season, including the Rams and the Bills. Hopefully you did so using the Superbook Sports app. And if you placed your first bet with Superbook Sports on tonight's game, they matched it up to $1,000, whether it wins or loses. So, as we get ready for the NFL season, as the NFL season is officially upon us, we are one half underway with the Rams and Bills. 10-7, the Buffalo lead right now. Turnovers all over the place, quick scores, big plays, a lot of exciting things to take away. Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen. It has been Aaron Donald, Von Miller. This has been an exceptionally fun game to watch, as we hoped it would be, even if the scoring hasn't quite been there yet. But as we look ahead to the Titans, because we'll talk about the second half between these two teams a little later on in the primetime broadcast, I would say to you that the way that I'm watching this show, or the way that I'm watching this game, is through the prism of, do the Titans have anybody on the roster who can do that? Now, what that is an entirely different matter. Ooh, are they about to tie it? I just realized there's 4 seconds left on the clock. A field goal from a mile away, and he hit it. Tie ball game. How about that? I don't know how much farther my Peacock stream is, but as time expires, the game goes tied up 10-all at half. A tremendous kick. I did not see the distance on the field goal from 57 yards out. Woo! How about that? And with some leg to spare, number 8 for the Rams. I don't know who their kicker is, but that man just absolutely drilled it. Good on him. So 10-10 at the half in the 2022 NFL opener between LA and Buffalo. 50. Some people are saying 57 yards. I see 58 yards. I saw 57 on the broadcast, as Mike Tirico called it, sitting in here in my car watching this on the phone. And of course, hosting the primetime show. So as I watch this game, as I watch the first half and how I'll go through watching the rest of it, I'm watching it through the prism of, can the Titans do that? Whatever that is. Can the Titans make an incredibly difficult third down conversion with pinpoint accuracy and an out of bounds or a nearly out of bounds, rolling out of bounds catch by Stephon Diggs at an incredible arm angle? I don't know the answer to that. Do they have anybody on the roster offensively that can not just two-toe tap their way into a touchdown reception the way that Cooper Kupp did? Now, maybe they can do the two-toe tap, but maybe not three toes. I don't know how the hell he got 1, 2, 3 in as that was going, as he was drifting out of bounds in the back of the end zone. Really, really impressive stuff from Cooper Kupp. You don't have to be Cooper Kupp, but do you have any players on the roster who can do that? I think when you kind of look at the situation, and I think that you have to process it through that lens. Do you trust the Titans to have the kind of playmakers that these two teams do? Because there is going to be play after play after play made, both on offense and on defense. You've seen Von Miller, Jordan Phillips. You've seen Aaron Donald. They are starting to impact the game. They have already impacted the game. You have seen interceptions being made. You have seen incredible second reaction plays where the wide receiver gets hit in the chest with a Josh Allen pass. He tries to body catch it. It bounces like that. Number 52 for LA had the first interception of the night. All these different things that you kind of go through and you look at and you say, all right, does the team that I, in my case, cover, in your case, root for, do they have anybody capable of these things? And the answer is, I don't know yet. I don't know what Kyle Phillips is going to be able to do in NFL action. I know what Robert Woods is, but I'm curious to see how he fits within this offensive system and if he has to do the heavy lifting to be the featured player. I think we've talked so much about the wide receivers that you almost get numb to it after a while, but that's the thing that I have the biggest question about for the Titans, not just against the Giants on Sunday, not just against the Bills on Monday night, but if they arrive in a position where they can make the playoffs, do they have the firepower to compete? Now, these are conversations that we'll have all season long, and we'll learn a lot about how these two teams that we're watching play tonight, and of course the Titans, what their trajectory looks like for the season. But I'd like to start with your Two Rivers Ford take as we do a bit of an abbreviated primetime show. What are your expectations for the Titans and the Giants in week 1? It can be simple as what you're going to learn. It can be simple as you want to see the Titans win. It can be any number of things that you are looking for that you relate your expectations to. Let me know in the comments section. You're going to hear from some of the Titans players in the locker room in just a moment, right after I tell you about the people who make your Two Rivers Ford take possible. That, of course, is Two Rivers Ford, where we broadcast not from the dealership, but from my car. We are in my car at a gas station in BFE, Kentucky. I'm on my way back from a funeral situation that I had to attend. I traveled to and from, and will soon travel home safely in my Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford is the best car buying experience humanly possible. I love them as a Two Rivers Ford customer. You will too. If you've been through the car buying experience in any other stop, you know how stressful it can be. You know how much pressure you can be put under. Two Rivers Ford is not going to do that. Not only are they not going to pressure you, they're going to find you the best possible rate. In fact, if you custom order a 2023 Ford model, the Explorer, the F-150, the Bronco Sport, the Mustang, any of the 2023 models that they are producing, they will guarantee an interest rate of 2.9% APR if you are approved. That is an incredible offer and something that very few other places do. The guarantee of anything in today's marketplace is nearly impossible to find, not at Two Rivers Ford, because they always go above and beyond to make it easy. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So, what are your expectations for the Titans and the Giants on Sunday? John Bob says, is that the Explorer Buck Rising edition you're in? Yes, it is it is quite literally the Buck Rising edition Explorer, 2022 Ford Explorer XLT. Damon Beverly says, Bucket, all lies on Ryan Tannehill with a megaphone emoji after that. Rodney Taylor thinks they're going to have a double-digit win. I would be shocked if that happened, but we will see, Rodney. We will see what happens. Will Dodson Jr. says he wants to see Burks or Woods burn a dory. That's not quite an expectation, more a hope. But I think that when you look at what the Titans and the Giants will present you, there's a lot of different ways that you can look at this. And what you look at with the Titans specifically is what they have on offer right now. And what they have on offer right now, and what they have questions to answer about, is the offensive line situation. I expect the offensive line to struggle on Sunday. And I'll explain why here in just a second. But first, I want you to hear from Taylor Lewan.
Other than the fact that they have 11 guys, what stands out about the Giants?
Yeah, they run. Some of them run fast. Some of them don't run as fast. I think sometimes they play man. Sometimes they don't play man, and that's something you really have to look out for. They blitz sometimes and don't other times, so that's important. So we'll have our hands full for sure.
That's a big X's and O's answer from Taylor Lewan, but he's not outright wrong. They do play a lot of man. They will play a lot of man. You will have the opportunity to take advantage of some of that. Now, what they also do, as you heard Greg Cosell tell you last night, and if you listened to the install yesterday, they do like to send pressure from all over the place. They expect all 11 rushers or all 11 players on the defensive side of the ball to be able to rush at any given point. Now, I think what that presents, obviously, is issues for an uncertain offensive line with the Titans. I think Nick Petit-Frere is going to look rough, I think. I think in most estimations, that is a fair expectation. And if he exceeds them, then that is hugely promising for what he expects to be. But I have considerably low expectations for Nick, not because he's a bad player, not because, I think poorly of him, not because of any of this, but because he's going to face a tough defense as a rookie offensive lineman for his first NFL start. So my expectation is that it will be sloppy and that they will make things difficult for the offensive line of the Tennessee Titans. I think that's the kind of thing that you have to monitor the most right now. Let's talk about what we think is going to happen between the Rams and the Bills as we sit here tonight on A to Z Sports Prime Time, broadcasting not from the Superbook Sports Studios, but from my Two Rivers Ford. That is where you go. Well, I'll tell you where you go here in just a second to get in on the action right after I ask you this question as we try to get you back in time for halftime. Simply, who you got, the Bills or the Rams, after seeing one half of both of these teams? Real simple. Who do you have in this game, in the NFL season opener? The Bills or the Rams? We'll talk about it together right after I tell you where you should have bet this game if you did not bet it already. That, of course, is Superbook Sports. Superbook Sports is the best possible place to go to get in on the action. They have incredible lines up for every NFL game for the rest of the regular season. They have the opportunity for you to get great odds boosts. One, that when we do the Titan Game Day morning show, I'm going to give you my best bet for the Titans this season, something that I think you absolutely have to cash in on. I can't bet because I can't bet on the NFL. I can bet on everything else. I can't bet on the NFL, but if I was betting with your money, I'm going to tell you where I would put my money on Sunday before the Titans and the Giants kick off, courtesy of Superbook Sports. Check out the odds boost that they have. Check out all of the wagers that they offer on every major sport. Bring Vegas to the palm of your hand with the Superbook Sports app. If you have questions, terms and conditions available at superbook.com. If you have a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. So, how do we feel about this game? Josh Allen has thrown interceptions so far. Matt Stafford has thrown an interception. There have been turnovers aplenty. It has been a bit of a sloppy first half, but I think so far, both of these teams have a lot to like. They have playmakers on offense. They have defensive linemen that can get after the quarterback and disrupt. They have better schemes than a lot of the ones that you will see. This is a really good matchup to open the season, especially for the Rams as defending Super Bowl champions. Because what is the biggest question about LA? Can they be competitive and avoid the kind of hangover that so often comes with Super Bowl champions the season after? The way they construct their team makes me think that they are going to be different. How they end up being different, we will have much more time to kind of discern and dissect. And of course, there's no way to predict these injuries. But as I look at this game tonight and as I try to see where the advantages lie, what I have seen is pressure getting to Josh Allen very quickly. Roger Saffold, who you of course remember as a starting offensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans, that offensive line group, while it is better and they have put it together with a larger commitment to run the football and take more pressure off Josh Allen's still having to make spectacular plays out there. He's still having to use his legs to get first downs. He's still having to elude pressure. Aaron Donald is considerably hard to play against in any offensive line situation. But the Bills tonight, I think, will suffer from that inability to protect Josh Allen. I think if I had to make a prediction, if I had to make a pick, I would favor the Rams in this game because I have more confidence that they're going to be able to consistently fluster Josh Allen. And the turnovers have already started. Of course, that is far more important than anything else that will happen in this game is who can be on the right side of the turnover differential. And I think that's the kind of thing that will benefit the Rams tonight as we watch this game on Sunday Night Football. But certainly I wouldn't sleep on the Bills. And if they came back to win this thing, it would not shock me because that guy who caught the first touchdown pass of the year, he also caught 4 of Josh Allen's touchdown throws against the Chiefs when last we saw the Bills play. Gabriel Davis, I believe, is the wide receiver's name, number 13. And he is out there making play after play after play consistently. Do the Titans have those kind of playmakers? These are the kinds of things that we will continue to ask ourselves all season long. All right, we want to get you back in time for the second half, so we'll do a quick weekend bounce back. Real simple. Who needs to bounce back this weekend in sports? Give me your answer on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. We will talk about it together right after I tell you about the people who always make the bounce back possible in this red-hot Nashville real estate market. That's the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage at GaryAshton.com. In fact, I think Gary Ashton has the same kind of pattern jacket that I wore to this funeral situation today. GaryAshton.com. Not only is he the best dressed real estate agent in Nashville, but he's got the best intel that you need to succeed. Gary Ashton will help you get the intel edge with the best team, the best realtors, the best properties, and the best information for you to make the best decision about your dream address without the stress, or the next home that you are looking to sell. If you are trying to sell your current one, you can sell for more with the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage and capitalize on the intel edge that they offer you, that you will get no place else. The official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators and of A to Z Sports Prime Time is GaryAshton.com. So, who needs to bounce back in sports this week? Let me know on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Robert Glenn says LSU. Certainly Brian Kelly needs a bounce back. Holy hell. You see that the way that late arriving reporter took him out at the knees when she got into the press conference? Brian Kelly, and for those of you who haven't seen the clip, we don't have it available at the moment, but Brian Kelly is hosting his day after game press conference. There's a reporter who arrives late. Brian Kelly calls her out. She says, well, maybe if you won, I'd be on time. Now, she later came back on Twitter and said, yeah, maybe that was a little unprofessional of me. I had a doctor's appointment. There was a whole situation. Brian and I are fine. It was a fun exchange. But it got blown up, and it looked hugely disrespectful to Brian Kelly, who is already under a little bit of heat now that he is the coach of the LSU Tigers. He needs a bounce back. Kazuma says Derrick Henry, and that's a good one, because Derrick Henry, when last we saw him on a professional field of play, was not the Derrick Henry that you, I, and everybody in between are accustomed to seeing. I am fascinated to watch Derrick Henry on Sunday against the Giants. I think it sounds like their defense is going to be considerably banged up. It's a good opportunity to take advantage of a defense with a new scheme and largely new personnel. I don't know that they have an answer for Derrick, but when I say I don't know that they have an answer for Derrick, I'm largely giving Derrick the benefit of the doubt to say that he's going to return to form. I don't know if he does. I would be inclined to think that he will. I have learned over the course of my career covering Derrick not to doubt him, not to count him out, because he's unlike any player in that sport that I've ever seen. In a sport of grown men, Henry is more grown, bigger, badder, faster, stronger, constantly. So I do not look at Derrick Henry as somebody who you have to worry about in most circumstances. But given the last time we saw him play, yeah, he's about due for a bounce back. Michael Eagle says you'd go live naked in the shower if you had to. Yeah, maybe I need a bounce back, because we, like I said, I appreciate you guys being super understanding tonight. We had a funeral situation that I had to attend to. It's going to keep me out of the radio show tomorrow for about 2 hours as well. Lucas is going to host in my absence, so that was unfortunate as far as that goes. In fact, Austin, I think, is going to sit in with Lucas for a part of the radio show, as well as I kind of address this situation that is taking place. Again, unfortunate, but I appreciate you guys being understanding. And you're damn right I'd go live naked in the shower if I wouldn't get popped for not safe for work stuff. I think YouTube would take down the A to Z channel if I put on a little bit of a skin flick for you guys. But, that's not the kind of thing that you want to do. As far as bounce backs are concerned, Derek Othello West says, I need a bounce back because Lucas is coming for my job. Yeah, well, I think for Lucas, he's going to be okay whether I'm holding him back or not. Lucas is somebody who's going to have a great career either way. But I'm never going to leave you guys hanging when it comes to the primetime show. As we look at who could use a bounce back, there was a funny clip that went around from Sarah Spain this weekend about Jameis Winston. I don't know how many of you saw Jameis Winston's breakdown of the human body, but it was laugh out loud funny. And apparently Sarah Spain of ESPN thought so too.
Our body is so symmetrical, right? You got your wrists, and then what are your wrists on the bottom half? Your ankles, you got your shoulders up top. What are your shoulders? Your hips, what I'm saying? You got your elbows. What are your elbows? Your knees.
Yeah, symmetrical, like 30 touchdowns and 30 picks. I guess if you don't know the difference between your ankles and your wrist, that might be why.
Wow, that is.
Callback.
That was an absolutely vicious assault by Sarah Spain to take out Jameis Winston, who's just trying to have a good time. He's talking about what are the ankles, or what he said. What are your? I don't even know how to describe it. I need to watch that clip again to see how Jameis Winston tried to articulate that basically your wrists are your ankles. He's not outright wrong. I get what he was doing, but the way that he's explaining, when he asks the third question, he holds out his hands to the media corps as if he expects them to respond with the answer that he thinks is clear and obvious. But it's a ridiculous clip from Jameis.
Our body is so symmetrical, right? You got your wrists, and then what are your wrists on the bottom half? Your ankles, you got your shoulders up top. What are your shoulders? Your hips, you know what I'm saying? You got your elbows. What are your elbows? Your knees.
Yeah, symmetrical, like 30 touchdowns.
What are the wrists of your bottom half? The ankles. It is. I love him. I love Jameis Winston. I will love him until the end of time. I hope Jameis never stops being Jameis. I don't care if he gets made fun of by Sarah Spain. It was also an incredible burn by Sarah. 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. His symmetry is about as good as it's going to get. That's going to do it for us tonight. Speaking of as good as it's going to get, I hope that the Bills and the Rams continues to be entertaining for all of us. Again, I'm going to be on the radio show for only the 10 o'clock hour tomorrow, but Lucas will finish in my stead as we handle this situation. I will be back Sunday, ready to go, ready to work. We'll have the game day morning show at 11:30 before kickoff. We'll have pregame radio on Titans Radio with Blaine Bishop, Mickey Ryan, and myself from noon to 2. And, of course, I'll be at Nissan Stadium. I hope to see many, many of you there. I hope you're as excited as I am to cover another football season. I hope you're excited to watch it. I can't wait to bring you the content. And when next we pop on live, it will be from the Titans Radio booth in Nissan Stadium Sunday night at 8 p.m. or thereabouts. Have a tremendous rest of your evening. I hope to talk to many of you guys. And again, thank you so much for your understanding. It means a lot to me that you guys always work with me the way that you do and that you keep it going, because you don't have to show up every night, especially when, this, like, what did somebody say earlier? I look like I'm on a stakeout at this point, especially when the optics of this look like what they are. It always means a lot that you guys support it the way that you do. Have a great weekend if I don't talk to you in the meantime. And if not, I'll see you Sunday night.
All right, we haven't scored a point since I came in here. I am gone, guys.
What?
That's it.
We got a couple more questions.
Out.
No, that's it.
Peace out by the GM.